Hello world, welcome to Decode Mania. I am Sahil and in today's video I am going to show you how to develop a CRUD application using Laravel 12, InertiaJS version 2.0, React and ShadCN. For this I will be using Laravel 12's newly launched React starter kit. But before we dive in, let's take a quick look at the demo of this application. Okay. So this is the application. Let me show you from the scratch. So let me log out from here. Now this is the welcome page of Laravel 12. Now here you can see there are two links, login and register. This authentication system already comes with React starter kit. So I will utilize this one. Okay. Now I have already registered with an email ID. So I will log in with that. Now this is the dashboard page, which also comes with React starter kit. So I will also utilize this dashboard. Now here I have added one link here, posts. Now this is the index page of the posts, where you can see I have fetched all the records from the database and listed here in a table format. Okay. Now here at the top you can see there is a search field and there is a button create post, and just below this table there is a pagination. Okay. Now let me show you each functionality one by one. So first I will create a post. Okay, so let me click on this button. Now this is create post page with some fields like title, category, status, description and image. If I click on submit without filling any field, then all the fields are validating properly. Okay. Now let me write a title and man, select category marble, select a status active, and man demo content. Now let's select an image. Okay, so I will select this one. Now once image is selected, there is an image preview showing here. Now let's click on submit. Now here you can see a notification has been showing at the top, post created successfully, and this is the post at the top. Okay. Now here I can make modification to any post just by clicking this edit button. So if I click on edit, then here you can see I can change anything, like here I will write only ant demo, and I can also change the image, but let me show you. Let me just change this status to inactive, and if I click on update, then you can see the notification at the top, and you can see the title and the status is now modified. Now let's change the image. If I select new image, like selecting this one, and if I click on update, then you can see the image is updated. Now we can also delete any post. So let's delete this one. So if I click on delete, then it is asking, are you sure want to delete it and delete this post? If I click cancel, then the post is not deleted. Now if I click on delete and if I click on OK, then the post is deleted with a notification showing post deleted successfully. Okay. We can also search any post from here, like if I write Loki, then you can see only Loki post in the table is showing. Okay. And this pagination is also working. If I click on next, then you can see we are on page 2. If I click next, then we are on the last page, and this next button is disabled. If I come directly to first page, then this previous button is now disabled. Okay. So this is what we built today in this video. Okay, so let's start. So first I will install a Laravel 12 framework. So this is my project directory. Here I will open my terminal, and here I will write Laravel new, and here I will write the application name. So here I will write CRUD Laravel Inertia, and here I will press enter. Now it is asking which starter kit would you like to install. So I will go with React. So here I will type React and press enter. Now it is asking which authentication provider do you prefer, so I will go with Laravel, so I will press enter. Now it is asking which testing framework do you prefer, so I will go with PHP unit, so here I will type 1 and press enter. Now it will download the Laravel framework along with React starter kit, so it will take some time, so let's wait. Now it is asking, would you like to run npm install and npm run build? So yes, so I'll press enter. Now it will compile all the front end assets. So all done. Now let's open this project inside VS Code. So here I'll write code CRUD Laravel Inertia, and I'll press enter. Now this is the VS Code and the project is now opened in VS Code. So let me first close this terminal. Now here I will open the built-in terminal of VS Code, and here I will write composer run dev to start local development server. Okay, now here you can see local development server has been started. Now let's go to browser and write localhost colon 8000. Okay, this is the welcome page of Laravel. Now let me go to register to register a new user. So here I will use fake filler Chrome extension. Here I will change the name of mine and click on create. So this is the dashboard page. Now if I go to settings, then this is the profile section where you can modify name, email ID, or even you can delete this account. You can change password, you can change appearance like dark theme or light theme. For this tutorial I will keep light theme. Okay, and next let me come to VS Code and let me close this window. Now let me open a new terminal. First I will initialize this project with git. So here I will write git init and then git commit, git add all files, and then git commit and here I will write first commit. Okay, now next I will create a model controller and migration for posts. Okay, so here I will write php artisan make model and I will name the model post, and I will use some flags like M for migration, C for controller, and R for resource controller. Okay, so I will press enter. Now you can see it created some files, so I will show you one by one. So let me close this one. Now if I go to app models, then this is the post model. Okay, now if I go to http directory controllers, then this is the post controller, and if I go to database migration, and this is the migration. So these three files are created with the command which we executed this. Okay, now next what I will do is I will define the schema posts table. So here I will write table for an id for user class constraint, and here I will use cascade on delete. Okay, I will import this user class here. Okay, now next what I will do is I will define some more columns like table string title and table content and slug and image, and for content the type will be text and the slug will be unique, image will be nullable, and I will keep one more, that is table string category, and last one is table boolean status of the post, and by default will be true. Okay, so our schema is ready. Now let's open the terminal, and here I will run php artisan migrate to run the migration. Okay, artisan could not open file artisan. Okay, so spelling mistake, artisan. Okay, so you can see the migration is completed. Now if I go to database directory and open this database.sqlite file, then here this is the post table with all the fields. Okay, now next I will close this schema migration file and go to this post model, and here I will just use protected fillable, or you can also use guarded. So better to use guarded because I will not protect anyone. So here I will use guarded, and I will initialize with empty array, and I will define one relation with the user, because every post will belong with only one user. Okay, now I will go to this user model, and here I will define a relationship with the post. Okay, so here I will write public function post. Now this user can write many posts, so here I have defined as many relations. Okay, now let's close this model. Now this is the post controller. Now here you can see this is the sidebar which contains only one link, dashboard. Now first I will go to resources JS and then components. Now this is the file app-sidebar.tsx. now here you can see main nav items, which is one dashboard. Now let's duplicate this one, and here I'll write posts, and I'll change the href to posts. If I save this and go to the browser, then here you can see this is the post link. Now let's change the icon. So for icon you can use Lucid React, which is already installed with by default. So here I will write notebook pane icon. Now if I save, and then here you can see the icon has been changed. If I click on post, then you can see 404 not found showing. It means we have to go to routes and go to web.php file. Now this is the middleware auth group. Here we will define the routes. So here in route I will use a resource route, and here I will write posts, and here I will write post controller class. That's it. Now it will define all the routes related to posts, like for index page, for creating post page, for storing, for deleting, for updating, all the thing. Okay, so here the web.php file is now completed. Let's close this one and go to post controller.php file. Here we will render the pages. Okay, so first we need to create the page. Okay, so go to resources directory, go to JS, and this is the pages directory where we have to design all the pages. So here inside I will create a new directory which is post and posts, and here I will create first page index.tsx, because we are using TypeScript here, so we will keep all the extension .tsx. Okay, Now if I go to dashboard, let's copy all the code from dashboard page and go to index.tsx and paste. Okay, now here I will change something like this breadcrumb. In title I will write post, and in href I will write posts, and I will also change this title to posts. Okay, now I will remove everything inside this page. Okay, so just remove this div, just remove this div, and here I'll write index posts page. If I save this and go to the browser and click on post, then still we are not going to the post index page, because we need to render this page from this method, index method. So here I'll write return inertia, need to import this. Okay, and then use a render method, and here I will here I'll write post/index, the path of the tsx file. Okay, so just write post/index. Now if I save this and go to the browser and click on post, then we are going to index post page. Okay, index post page. So now here we will design our index page. Okay, so here let me go to index.tsx page. Let me remove this one. For designing I will use ShadCN components or some Tailwind CSS classes. Okay, so here I will use first div with some classes. So here I will use classes like rounded border, padding 6, and then shadow axle. Now if I save this and go to the browser, then here you can see there is a div with some shadow. Now next I will use some ShadCN component to display the search field and then a create post button. So for this I will use originui.com, and from here I will go to input, and I will select this one. Okay, and I will copy this div. Okay, and I'll paste here. Let me create one more div and I'll paste inside this. Okay, now need to import this input from this component UI input, and in ID I will keep search, and this is at sign icon, so I will change this to search from Lucid React. Okay, and I think let me go to browser and check. So here you can see the input field is showing here. Now let me fix the width etc. So in this I will use with full and sm width 1/3. Okay, now here you can see this, the width of the field is now decreased. Now next here I will change this type to search placeholder email to search, and I think all done. Okay, so this is the icon, this is the placeholder. Now I will display the button. Okay, so for button I will use button component, and here I will use link component from InertiaJS React, and in href I will use post create, and I will write create post. Just remove this class name, we don't need this. Here we will use prefetch to preload this page while we hover over this button. Okay, now if I go to here, then this is the button and this is the search field. Now let me fix the alignment. So here I will use flex and just use items center justify in between. Okay, now you can see this is the search box and this is the create button. Okay, now next I will just below this I will design a card. So just write card and import it from component UI card, and just inside this I will use card content. Now inside this I will design the table. Okay, but here just go to this div and here I will write margin bottom 5 to keep some margin. Okay, now next what I will do is I will design the table. Okay, so here, okay, just come here and inside this card content I will use table component of ShadCN. Okay, so I think table is not installed, so we need to install table component first. So just go to ShadCN UI.shadcn.com and go to components, search for table, and this is the table. Just copy this command and open the terminal, paste here and press enter to install the table component. Okay, just wait, press enter again. Now table component has been installed. Now we can use it here. Okay, so you can see the table component has been installed. Let me close this terminal. Now here inside this one I will use table from component UI table, and inside this table we will use table header, and inside this table header we will use table row, and inside this table row we will use table head, and first column will be for serial number, second will be for image, and third will be for title, next will be for content, and next will be for category, next will be for status, and last one will be for actions. If I go here, then you can see this is the table showing at here. Okay, now let's create a dummy record. So just below this table header we will use table body, and inside this table body we will use table row. Okay, so let me accept this one, and you can see there are two records, dummy records showing here. Okay, so I will design this action button later. Okay, and this status, everything we will design it later. First let's work on this create post. Okay, so we will work on this create post page. So if I click on create post, then we are not going to create post page, because we need to go to post controller, and here in create I will use return inertia render post create. Now this post create is not created yet, so let me go to here inside component JS directory, and inside this we will go to pages, and then this is the posts directory. Here we'll create a new file, and here I will write create.tsx. okay, now I will go to index.tsx, copy everything from here and go to create.tsx, paste. Now here we will remove everything from this div, select this one and select this card, and here we will write create posts. Okay, Now if I go to create post page, then this is the create post page. Okay, now here what I will do is let me change this to create posts, and here also create /posts. Okay, now change this to create post. Here you can see the spelling mistake, CREATE, create post. The title has been changed. Now here I will go to index. Let me copy this one, this one, and go to create and just paste it here. So here we will not use this input. Okay, instead here I will use one heading. So just remove this div from here, and here I will write create post, create post, and in button I will import this button first. So import it from component UI button, and import link from InertiaJS React. Okay, here I will write go back. Okay, and here just use this post. Okay, and if I go back here, then you can see create post, go back button. Now let me remove this one. There is no need of these classes, I think. Instead here I will use text actual. Okay, now it's look perfect. Here I will use text colors, text slate 400. I think 600 will be better, so here I'll write 600. Okay, now correct. Now next what I will do is I will create a form to create a post. Okay, so for this let me go to go back button. So we are going back to the index page, and if I click on create post, then we are going to the create post. So this is working fine. Now just below this this div, what we will do is, let me, okay, so here we will first create a card, then card content. Let me import this card from okay, card from component UI card. Okay, now you can see this is the card here. Okay, now inside this card I will use a form, and for now I will remove this action, and now inside this form I will design a div and with some classes, class name grid calls to gap 4. Okay, now just inside this I will use div with class name call span 2, and inside this I will use a label component from this component UI label, and this is for title. So just use this one, just remove this class name required, and here just close this label, and here I will write title, and just below this I will use input component from component UI input. Now just close this one, and here we will use type is equal to text, and placeholder will be title. Okay, for now let me come here, then here you can see title. Okay, and next I will design one more field. So here I will copy the same thing, and instead of call span2 I will also change to md call span1 on medium devices, and here I will change this to category. You can also use id here because we have used id label here, so here I will use title. Okay, now here for category I will use select field, so here I will remove this one, just come here and go to ShadCN, search for select component. Now this is the select component which we will use, so just come here and copy this code and paste here. Okay, now import all the components and import this one, import content item from component UI select. Okay, now if I come here, okay, so something is wrong, let me reload. So here you can see this is the category. Okay, let me remove this class name from here and change the value. So here I will only keep two value, one for Marvel and one for DC. Similarly I will copy this one and paste here, and here also I will write DC. Okay, DC, and in placeholder we will write category select value. Okay, so here you can see Marvel DC. Okay, and by default showing category, so we can also write select category. Okay, select category. Now next what I will do is I will use status here. Okay, here in select we can use id here for the category. Okay, I think id is not supported here. I think id is supported in trigger id category. Okay, that's it. Now this is correct. Now similarly I will copy the same div again for the status, so just copy and paste here, and this time I will change this one to status, change the HTML4 and category to status, select status, and here I will use value 0 1 for published, or we can just write active or inactive, which will be I think better. Inactive, select a status, active, inactive. Okay, now next will be next field will be text area for content. Okay, so just below this div I will create a new div with margin top 4, label content, and input type will be text. Actually here we will use text area instead of input, so just remove this one, and here we will use text area from. Okay, I think text area is not installed here. Let me go to ShadCN and search for text area component, and let me copy this command and just copy paste here and wait for installation to complete. Okay, so the text area has been installed. Now we can use text area from component UI text area. Okay, and now here we will use rows is equal to 6. Okay, and id is equal to content and placeholder is equal to type content here. Okay, now if I reload, then here you can see the content. Now one more field will be for image upload. Okay, so if I come here, or we can just copy this one, paste here, just change this to select image, just write image and just remove this one, and here I will write input type file id image. Now if I go here, then you can see the file type image, file field showing here. Okay, now let me come here, and file type input type will be file id image. Okay, and next will be the button. Okay, so final here I will design the button. So for this I will design a div, class name, margin top 4 and text end. Okay, now here I will write button type submit, and let me remove this class names here. I will keep the default one, and here you can see the create post. Okay, so our form has been created. Okay, now we will first work on this form to make this dynamic. So for this let's go to VS Code, and here first what I will do is I will come here, and first I will use a const, and I will use data set data post errors processing, and we will destructure all these properties from use form, which is from InertiaJS React. Okay, and here let me just use form, and here we will define the type of all the input fields we have designed below. So here we will use this angle bracket. Now inside this we will define the types of the fields. For title we will use string, and for category the type will be string, for status will be string, for content also will be string, and for image the type will be file and null, and by default we will use this, by default all field will be empty. Okay, so here we will initialize with the empty value title, category, status, content and image. Now next what I will do is I will go to each fields and use on change event. Okay, so this is title, and here in title what I will do is I will use value, and in value I will write data.title. Okay, data.title, and then I will use on change we will use e, and then I will use set data, and then I will use title, and then I will use e dot target dot value. Okay, and next and next I will go to this field, select field. Okay, and here in select I will use value will be data dot category, and here I will write on value change, and here we will use e, and then I will use set data category and just write e here, not category. Okay, now next what we will do is we will go to this field, status field, and also here we will use value, and in value I will use data dot status, and we will use on value change e dot set data status e. Okay, now next field is text area field. So here I will use value, and in value I will use data dot content, and here I will use on change event, and here we will use e, and then set data, and here set data content, and we will use e dot target dot value. Okay, simple. Now we will go to this image. Now in image I will use on change, and then e, then we will use curly bracket here, and here we will first get the file, selected file. So const file is equal to e dot target dot files with the 0th index, and then we will check if there is file selected, then we will use set data, and then I will use image and shine the file into this image. Okay, and next, okay, so we will go to next, which is this button. Okay, so here in this button I will use disabled while processing. So here I will use disabled props while processing. So here we will use processing. We will also display some kind of loader while processing, so we can use in button we will also use size lg, and let me come here, and here we will use if processing, then we will display a loader. So here I will use loader 2 from Lucid React, and here in class name I will use animate spin, and I close this one. So this will be only visible while processing. Okay, and we will keep inside this span tag. Okay, now if I come here and click on create post, then nothing happening because we are not submitting the form data to the store route. Okay, so here what we will do next is in this form we will just use on submit event, and then we will use handle form submit. Okay, now just copy this, and here we will define function handle form submit with a parameter e, and first we will use e dot prevent default, and next we will just use post, and then we will use the route post. Okay, close here. We'll just do it like this. Now if we just go to post controller, then here we have to handle the store functionality. So first I will just use dd request all, and if I reload and fill all the fields, select image, one image, and click on create post, then here you can see we are getting title, category, status, content, and image object. Okay, so we're getting all the data. Now next what we will do is we will first validate all the fields here in the server side. So here we will use request validate, and here I will use title. First I will use title, and here I will use array structure, required string max 255, and content required string, and then next one is status. So just write status, and here for status I will use required and string. Okay, this is not required, so just remove this. And next one is category, so just write category, and for category this is also required and string. And for image, just write image and just use required, and I will just use image, and max will be of 2 MB, so just use 2048. Okay, so the validation part is completed. Now to test validation is working or not, if we just come here and if we click on create post, then the validation message is not displaying here. So we need to show the validation message. So go to create.tsx file, and on each input field we will use input error component from components directory. Okay, and here we will just use a message prop. So just use message, and in message I will pass the errors dot title. Okay, similarly, okay, let me reload. Okay, something is wrong. Okay, so here is a spelling mistake, just fix ORS errors, and here also just fix ERROR errors. Okay, now if I come here and click on create post, then you can see the validation message is showing. Now we will also turn the border to red when the field is validated. Okay, so for this we will just use area invalid prop on each field. So here I will use area invalid, and here we will use this one. Let me try this one. Okay, so now this is working. Okay, so let me reload, and if I click here without filling any this field, then you can see the red border is showing correctly and the validation message. Now if I enter something like demo and then click on create post, then the validation error message not showing, also the red border is gone. Okay, so similarly we have to do for all. So here for this select, we need to do in this select trigger part. Okay, so here I will just use area invalid is equal to errors category, and to display the message I will display here. So input error message errors dot category, and for this status I will do the same, area invalid errors dot status, and just below here will display the error message. And here in the content part also just do the same, area invalid errors content, and here I will display the error validation error message. For the image I will also do the same thing, like area invalid errors image, and here I will display the error message. Okay, so all completed. Now if I remove all the fields value, reload the page first, and if I click on create post without filling any field, then you can see all the fields are validating properly. Now if I select this one and click on create post, then these two fields validation message gone, and all the unfilled fields are showing validation error message. So this is working correctly. Now fill all the fields and click on create post. Then here you can see image is not selected, so we need to select the image. So now image is selected, but the image preview is not displaying here. Okay, so to display the image preview, what I will do is I will just come here, and here I will check data dot image, and if data have image, then I will use img tag here, img tag, and I will use URL. In src I will use URL dot create object URL from data dot image, and alt is equal to preview and with some class name. So I will remove this height, I will only keep the width. Okay, so you can see the image preview is showing. We can also use rounded here, rounded lg. Okay, so the image preview is showing here. Now if I click on create post, then the form is submitted, but right now we are not doing anything here, so we will process the form to store into the database. So for this what I will do is just below here, first I will create a variable file, and then I will use request file, and the name field of the file, that is image, and then I will create a file path is equal to file, and I will store inside posts directory in public visibility. Now next I will create the post, so here I will use post model, then I will use create, and here I will pass all the fields. Like first I will pass the user ID, so here I will here in user ID I will pass auth, and then auth user ID, and then I will pass title, request title, and then slug. So I will create slug from the title, so here I will use str slug request title, and then I will use content, then status, then category, then image. In image I will store the file path. Okay, now next, if everything goes fine, then we will return redirect to this route, and then with a message, flash message, success, post created successfully. Okay, so here you can see with, let me write message here instead of success, post created successfully, and instead of this redirect to route. This is also working, but here I will use to_route method, and here I will use post index. Okay, with this message. Now let's check that this is working or not. So this is the create post form. Now let me fill for select category, select status for demo content, select an image here for Thor. So I'm selecting this one and click on create post. So here you can see we are getting some error that str class is not found, so we need to import this str class at the top. Just use illuminate support str. Okay, now let's try again. Thor marble active Thor demo content and select an image and click on create post. So you can see we are redirected back to the index page. I think post has been created. Let me check in the database. So go to database, then database.sql file. Now here you can see this is the posts table, and here you can see there is one record with title Thor Marvel, and the slug is automatically created with the image path. Okay, and the status is 1. Okay, so everything is fine. Now when I created the post, then the notification is not showing here. So let's work on this to show the notification. Okay, so to display the notification, first what I will do is I have to change something. So let me go to Inertia documentation. Okay, so open InertiaJS.com and here search for flash messages. Okay, so here we have to use this one. Okay, so just copy this and go to HTTP and then go to middleware and open this handle inertia request.php file. Now here just go to the share method and here I will paste this. Okay, paste this code. Now next what I will do is I will go to the index page. Okay, so let's open the index page. Okay, so this is the index.tsx file. Now here what I will do is I will use const and here I will destructure flash and here I will use page hook of from InertiaJS React. Okay, and then here I will use some types. Okay, so here I will use flash and it will be a type and from flash I will destructure message and message will be a type of string. So here just write string and then give one more and then just use this dot props. Okay, I think there is some mistake here, just use here and okay, now this is okay. Now next what I will do is I will use effect and here I will check if there is some flash message, then I will use log flash message and then let me check in the console that flash message is showing in console or not. So let me come here and go to create post again, but let me open the console. Okay, let me reload the whole page and then create a new post. So here I will create for Iron Man demo content. For image I will select this one and I will click create post. Okay, so here you can see the message post created successfully. So to display this post created successfully in the notification, we will use ShadCN Sonar component. So let me show you. So if I go to ui.shadcn.com and search for Sonar, so this is the component we will use. If I click, then you can see the notification is showing here at the bottom. So to display this, what I will do is I will go to the installation part and copy this. Now we have to install this, so paste and hit enter. Now it will install the Sonar. Okay, so just press enter, use force. Okay, so the Sonar component has been installed successfully. Now next we need to use this toaster component in the layout. Okay, so I will go to layouts and then I will go to this app layout.tsx, and here I will use this toaster. So just copy and paste here just below it, and just import it from this. Okay, sonar UI, toaster component UI sonar. Okay, I will also use one props here, rich colors. Okay, rich colors, and I will close this one. Now next, to display the message, notification message, what I will do is I will just go to code, and here in use effect I will remove this console log, and here I will use toast, which will be imported from toast, and then here I will use success, and then I will pass success. I will only pass this message here. That's it. Now let's create again. Okay, to check that flash is working or not. So if I go to, let me reload and go to create post. Now here I will write Loki Marvel, and here I will select inactive Loki demo content. Let me select an image of Loki and click on create post. So here you can see post created successfully. So it is showing below the page. Okay, so we can set the position accordingly. If you want to display in the top right side, then you can do that. So for this, you can see there is a docs link here. Just click on this. Now to set the position, here you need to, like, I will show here. Okay, so for this, just copy this position top right and go to the layout, app layout, and paste here. Okay, paste. Now let me test one more time. So go to here and click on create post. Here this time I will create black widow and category Marvel active black widow, and here I will select an image of black widow, and if I click on create post, then you can see post created successfully, notification showing at the top right side. Okay, so this create post is working properly. Now we will work on this index page to list all the records from the database. Then we will see on actions like edit or modify record and delete. Okay, so to work on this, what I will do is, let me come here in index.tsx file. Okay, first let's go to post controller.php file. Now from here, this is the index method. So here I will fetch all the posts related to the logged in user, and I will send all the data to this page, index page. Okay, so here I will, just go to post controller.php file. Now here I will create a variable posts is equal to auth, and then I will use user method, and then I will use this posts relationship which I already defined, and here I will use latest, and then I will use, I think, latest, and just use get, and here in array I will pass post is equal to post. Okay, now go to index.tsx, and here I will use okay, so here I will destructure the posts, and then I will use post for now I am just using any. Okay, any. I think any is not supported here. Let me just use console log to display the posts. Sorry, let me open the browser in the console. Now here in console you can see 4 records is showing. It means this is working, but this is complaining that unexpected any. Okay, specify a different type. So first we will define a type for this post. Okay, so for this I will go here at the top, and here I will use interface, and here I will write post types, post type, sorry, post types, or we can just write post type. And here I will use ID, number, title string, content string, category string, status string, and image is also a string. Now here in any I will pass this post type, sorry, post type. Okay, and I will use an big bracket symbol. This denotes this is an array. Okay, now next we need to use this in the table. Okay, so how to use this inside table? So just come here, let me remove one table row. Okay, and just cut this one. First I will just use posts, sorry, posts dot map, and then here I will use post and index, and then I will just, sorry, I will just use this to render here everything inside table row. So here I will use index +1 to display the sequence, and next one is image. So for displaying image I will use image tag, and in src I will use, okay, so let me remove this one, and I will use backtick storage, and then post dot image. Okay, and in alt I will use post title, and for now I will just use width 10 rounded. Okay, and then next will be title. So to display title I will use post dot title, and for content I will use post dot content dot substring, and I will display up to only 50 characters, so 0 to 50. Okay, and for category I will use post dot category, and for a status, for now I'm just displaying the post dot status. Later I will design a page here. Okay, and in action I will design 2 buttons. Okay, so here let's keep it action for now, and just come here. Now here you can see the 4 records from the database are now showing here, but the image is not displaying. Okay, so to fix this issue, let me come here, and here I will write php artisan storage link. Just use this command. Now if I come here and reload, then you can see image is now visible. Okay, let me give more width to this image. So here I will give width 16. Okay, now it's okay, or we can just give width 12, 14. Okay, 14 is okay. Now next there is one complaint: each child in a list should be have a unique key prop. Okay, so here in table row I will use key, and here I will write post dot id. Okay, post dot id. Now if I reload, then this complaint is now removed. Okay, now next we will work on action button. So let me close this terminal. Now for button I will keep two button, one is for edit and next one is for delete. Okay, so here I will first use a button component, and in button I will use link component. Inside this button I will use link component, and in link I will use post slash then post id then edit, and then I will use prefetch. Okay, and in button I will pass some as child and size is equal to sm. Okay, and next button will be for delete. So just here use button as child size sm and variant destructive means red color, and then a button. Okay, so here I will not use any link, instead I will just use button, and here I will use delete. Okay, save this and let's check in the browser. Okay, so we have only one button. This button is not showing. Let me check. Button add child. Okay, now here in table head I will use class name, and I will use space h1 to give some space between these two buttons. Okay, now if I click on edit, then you can see we are not going to any page because I have not created the edit page. Okay, and if I click on delete, then nothing is happening right now. Let's work on this status first. Okay, so here I will go to here, actually status, just before the in table body I will not use table head, instead I will use table cell, I think. Okay, so let me select all table head and convert into table cell. Okay, also change this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one to table cell. Okay, if I reload, then you can see the proper formatting with proper formatting. Okay, now next, just above the status, what I will do is, okay, now inside this let me here just use double is equal to 0, then here we will display badge, badge from component UI badge, and here I will display, if the status is 0, then here I will display inactive. Okay, so here I will write active, and actually here we need to just use question mark. Okay, and here I will use second badge active. Okay, so I will come here, then you can see active inactive is showing. Now here I will use some class like class name, and in inactive I will use bg red 500. Okay, and for active I will use, sorry, where is active, this is the active badge. Here I will use class name and bg green 500. okay, this way you can display the badge here. Okay, so let me create one more record, and this will be group select category status group demo content, select image and click on create post. You can see the we are redirected to the index page, and here is the record created with the notification. Okay, so table has been completed. Now let's work on this search field. So whenever we search any value from title or content, then we will filter the record based on that. Okay, so for this, let me come here. This is the search part. Okay, so here in search I will use on change. Okay, on change, and here I will write on search change. Okay, and next what I will do is I will copy this and I will define this method above here, search method, and here I will write function on search, and here in event I will use change event, and I will get the value from the search value, and here I will use filter post dot filter, or actually we can use we will send a request to the server and fetch from there, not from client side. Okay, so for this what we can do is just remove, and here I will use query, and let me remove this one, just keep this, and here I will handle search method, and here I will pass the query. Okay, now we will define the query method above. Here I will write const handle search, and then I will use ref from, and then I will use debounce. Okay, debounce from Lodash. Okay, so we need to install the Lodash package. So to install Lodash package, first I will write npm I Lodash. Okay, okay, so the package has been installed. Now let me write again debounce. Okay, debounce, then query will be type of a string, and here in debounce what I will do is I will use router from InertiaJS React, and here I will use get method, and in parameter I will send search is equal to query, and here I will use some parameters like preserve state is equal to true, and here I will use preserve. Okay, we can use replace is equal to true also, preserve state true and replace is equal to true, and now here we will send at 500. Okay, and dot current. and let me const handle. I think something is wrong here. I think we need to use this method here, handle search. Okay, and we need to import this dbounds. So to import, I will write import dbounds from load-as dbounds. It is complaining because the types of the load-as is not installed. So let's copy this command. We are using TypeScript, so we need to install the types of the load-as. So just install it. Now the complaint will be removed. Yes, now removed. And I think there is something wrong here. Let me check. So this is okay. Dbounds const handle search is equal to user ref, and dbounds query string and router get. Okay, so everything is fine. Now what's the problem? Handle search. Okay, this is the wrong. We need to use this. Okay, now this is completed. Now we need to handle this in post controller.php file in the index method. Okay, so let's go to here, and now let me change this post to query, and here I will remove this get, and here I will check if request has search, if request has search and request dot search is equal to request dot search is not equal to null. Okay, not is equal to null. Let me just use request class here, request, and here in query I will write, I will remove this one, and here I will use query and where any, and here I will use title content like percentage request search this. Okay, and then I will use posts, and I will use query. For now I'm not using pagination, so I will use query, and and here I will use to array. Now if I come here, then here you can see has many to array. Okay, so we are getting some error like request has search and request search is not is equal to null, then where title content like this. Okay, so let me also use paginate here. For pagination, I'm just going to display 2 records. Okay, reload. So still we are not getting query where any title content like percentage equal to query paginate to array. Let me just use dd that this is working or not. So I think this is working. Okay, so we need to do some modification because of this paginate. Okay, so I think this is correct. We need to go to index.php file, and here we need to do some modification. Okay, because post is now coming in data, so here we need to just use data. Okay, now if I reload, then you can see the 2 records is now showing here, because in paginate I have used 2 here. If I increase to 5, then here you can see 5 records is now showing. Okay, so for demonstration I will use 2, and then I will work on pagination. Okay, first let me show you that the search is working. So here I will search for Iron Man, then you can see Iron Man is showing here. Okay, let me search for Black Widow, black, then you can see Black Widow is showing. So search functionality is working fine. Now let's work on the pagination part. Okay, so before working on pagination, we need to define some TypeScript types. Okay, so here I will use, just go above, and here this is already defined, post types. Now here I will define interface links type, and here I will use URL string, null, label string, active boolean. Okay, now next I will define interface. Here I will define posts type. Okay, so here in post type I will write data, and for data this is the post type we already used here. Okay, now next I will use current page, or we can also use links. So link type is already defined here. Okay, so I will use links here. I'll show you why I'm defining this type of structure. And here I will use from will be a number to total, and then here I will use, actually I think we only need this. Okay, from, to, and links. Okay, and now here what I will do is I will use post types. So here I will just use post types. Okay, and the data is defined here, so this is already used here. If I go to browser, then you can see nothing is changed. Now next what I will do is, next we need to define a new component. Okay, so for new component what I will do is, let me go to this components directory and create a new file, inertia-pagination.tsx. okay, and here I will use RFC, and here I will change Inertia pagination, and here I will get posts, and here I will use posts, and here I will write post types. Okay, we need to define this just above here. Okay, so I use interface post types, and here I will use here in post types I will use links and links type. Actually here I will just keep post type and links type. This will be an array and to from total. Okay, now we need to define this links type, so just above this I will define this links type, and we just need to define similar one which we already defined. Now here what we will do is we'll use remove this one, and here I will give some bootstrap Tailwind classes, margin top 4, flex wrap, items center, justify between, actually justify center, gap 2, padding left and right 10, ascend, justify between. Okay, now here first I will display again one div, then posts dot from, and then posts dot to or posts dot total. Okay, let me render this this component here in index. Okay, so just here, just outside of this card I will use Inertia Pagination, and here I will use post and post. Now here you can see 1 -2 of 5, so total record is 5, and in this page only showing 1 to 2. Okay, 2 records. Now here we will display the links. Okay, so to display the links need to go to Inertia Pagination component, and here I will create one more div with some classes. So here I will use flex wrap, items center, justify center, gap 2, and then inside this I will use loops. So posts dot links dot map, and then here we will use link and index, and then here I will use const is disabled is equal to link dot href link dot url, not href, and if is disabled, then here I will use return, and here I will display a button. So I will use button component, UI button, and actually there is no need of this. Here I will use some like key is equal to index, and variant is equal to outline, and by default will be disabled, and I will use some class name, pointer, events none, opacity opacity is equal to 50. Okay, and I will use dangerously set inner HTML, and here I will use HTML, and in HTML I will use link dot label. Okay, now just here I will display button again, button, and here I will use link of from InertiaJS React. Now inside the link, actually I will not use this one. Here I will use dangerously set inner HTML, and here I will again use the same HTML link dot label. Okay, and next I will use href, and in href I will use link dot URL, and I think all done. We need to let me check. String null is not okay. The string null is not assignable to a string. The null is not assignable to a string. Okay, so in button let me use key index, and here as child, and invariant I will use link dot active. So if link is active, then we will use default variant, and if link is not active, then I will use outline variant. Okay, just save this and go to the browser. Then here you can see the pagination. Okay, so let me click on next, then we are going to page second. If I click on next, then there is no page from page third, so next button is not disabled, we can't click. If we can go back, and if we in page 1, then this previous button is disabled. So our pagination is also working fine, but let me just remove this null so that this warning is removed. Okay, so pagination, and let me go to index.php, and here in post type is not assignable to post type. Okay, so this is complaining. Let me see what is the issue. So here we need to use post type, which is I think correct. Okay, got it. I think we need to remove this one. Okay, let me save this. Now this complaint is now removed. Okay, now save this and go to the browser, reload. Now everything is working fine. Okay, pagination is working correctly. Okay, and search is also working. Like if I write Loki, then Loki is showing here. Okay, now let's go to post controller.php file, and here I will keep 5 in the first page. Okay, let me just, okay, so you can see there is no record, there is only 5 records, so there is no pagination, only page 1. Okay, so let me create one more. Let me create a dummy one and select any image here and click on create post. So you can see now the pagination is showing to here, like page 2. So if I go to page 2, then this is the second page post, and this is the dummy post which I just created. Now let's work on edit then delete. Okay, so if I click on edit, then nothing is happening. So what we will do is, let me remove let me just go to create.tsx page and copy all the codes. Let me go to post directory, create a new file, edit.tsx and paste all the codes here. Now let's go to the top. Now here I will just use edit post, and here actually okay, so here I will just write edit and post. Okay, the link will be post then the id. Okay, so to get the id, post id here, what we will do, so we will see later. Okay, for now what I will do is I will just come here and just see here edit post, and instead of create I will write edit post. Okay, now let me go to post controller, and here this is the edit page. So here I will use return inertia render post edit. Okay, so here you can see I will write post data. Okay, post data, and here I will pass the post. Now go to edit.tsx, and from here if I click on this, then you can see we are redirecting to the edit page where we can go back to the index page, and if you click on any of the edit button, then we are redirecting to the edit post page, and here you can see with the id in the url. Okay, so next what we will do is just go here in the edit page, and here in the props I will use post data, and then I will use post data, and post data, actually here we will define post type, and if you go to create, then I think we already created. Okay, so we have not created any type for the post type. Actually we can just write post data type. Okay, and let's copy this and define the interface here. So just use interface paste, and here I will use the same id, number, title string, content string, category string, image string. Okay, now next what I will do is I will use the same use form. Okay, and I will not use I think. Okay, so here in title we will use post data dot title, and in category I will use post data dot category, and in status I will use post data dot status. In content I will use post data dot content, but for image I will keep it null. Okay, and for errors we can use const errors is equal to use page hook dot props. Okay, errors, and I will remove this error from here. I will also remove this post. I will only keep data, set data, and processing. Okay, props use page. Okay, this is the method. Now next, instead let me go to here, then you can see all the prefill are not showing properly, like content is prefilled, title is prefilled, but this category and status is not working. Let me go back. If I select a black video, then the Marvel is selecting properly, the title is prefilled, content is prefilled. Need to display the image preview here. Now status is also not working here, and if I go here, then let me work on this. And in handle form submit, let me just comment down right now for right now. And here what we will do is we'll go to the status. Okay, so status, this is status. Okay, now here in select, what we will do is we will use value. Value is already given here, so here I will use is equal to 1. Sorry, if value is equal to 1, then in this case select 1 or 0. Okay, and I think we need to do in this also select value. So in select value so this is the selected value. So here also I will remove this one, select, and here I will use same thing. So let's copy this one and paste it. Actually here we will use this, if data dot status is equal to 1, then in this case we will use active, and inactive. Okay, now this will work properly, I think. Okay, so you can see the inactive is selected properly. Now if I go back and select edit for this group, then the status is active. So let me check that. Okay, so active is selected, Marvel is selected, so all good. Now let's work on the image preview. Okay, so for image preview what I will do is just go to image section. Okay, so this is the image section here. Now just below here I will use div. Okay, post image. Then if post dot data has any image, then here I will display the preview. Okay, so this is the preview. Now if I select any new image, then I will comment this code. Okay, so let me go back and select this Iron Man. So you can see the image preview is showing and all the fields are pre-filled properly. Okay, now next what we will do is here I will change this create post to update post. Okay, and just go above. Now here in handle form submit, what I will do is I will change something like router dot post, and here I will send post request to this posts, and then ID, and I will send, sorry, just remove this, and here I will send method is equal to put and all the data. So just use a spread operator here, and I think this one is complaining, giving error. Just import it from here and just give it here. Okay, so this method is completed. Now we need to handle this method in the post controller method. Okay, so just go to post controller.php file. Now here this is the update method. So here first we will validate all the fields. So here I will use request validate, and then here I will write title is required, so just use required, and required string max, which is fine. Let me required string I think we need to just copy from store method, so just copy and paste here, but I will modify some of the fields, like image is not required, so I will use nullable here, nullable, image, max, and all are required. Okay, now next I will get the file path of the old image, so here I will write file path is equal to post image. Now before updating record, I will check if request has image. If request has image and request image is not is equal to null, it means there is new image selected. In this case I will use file is equal to request, then file image. If new file is selected, then we will store the file into the post directory, then we will get the then we will update the file path along with storing, and then we will delete the previous image, okay, from the storage. So I will use storage facade delete method, and actually here we can just use disk method, then public and delete post image, and then here I will use post update title is equal to request title, slug is equal to slug request title, content is equal to content. I think I will not update the slug, so I will remove, but I will update all the things. Okay, and here I will use return to route post index message post updated successfully. Now let's test. Okay, so go back. Now let's update the first one. So for first one I will update the status to active and change this category to Marvel, and if I click on update, then you can see the status and category is updated. And let's again update to okay, let me update the image to Black Panther. Okay, and change the title also Black Panther, and let's select active Marvel Black Panther demo content, and if I click on update post, then you can see Black Panther demo content Marvel. Okay, so update is also working. Okay, so everything, like if I write man, then you can see Iron Man is showing here, the pagination is also working. Okay, and edit is also working properly. Now let's work on the delete. Okay, so to delete a record, what I will do is I will go to the index.php file, and here in button I will use on click, and then here I will use delete post, and here I'll pass post.id. okay, we need to define this method, so just copy and go above here, delete post method, and here I will use function id is equal to number, and here I will use if confirm, are you sure want to delete these posts? If yes, then I will use okay, I will use router, and in router I will not send anything special, just send on delete method, and here I will display a success message, so we can display from here also. So toast dot success post deleted successfully. Now we need to handle this request in the post controller. Okay, so just go to post controller.php file, and here in destroy method I will use okay, if post has image, then first we will delete the image from the post directory, and then we will delete the post. Then I think this is not required, so just comment this and go to here. Now let's test. So let me delete this low key. Okay, so if I click on delete, then you can see, are you sure want to delete this post? If I click cancel, then the confirm pop-up is now removed. Now if I click on OK, then you can see the low key is now deleted from here with the notification. So this is all about the CRUD functionality using React Starter Kit. If you liked this video, then hit on like button, and please subscribe my channel for this type of video. Thanks for watching.